Awaken Beauties, finally, it's here. The truth to empower women to true inner beauty through a healthy mind and inner biology. I am your hostess, Cassandra Keogh, a 20-year salon owner, organic beauty product formulator, positive mind management, and clinical hypnotherapist. And I am here to help you stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. Sponsored by evoquebeauty.com. evoquebeauty.com. Now, let's get to it. Welcome to the Awaken Beauty podcast. I am Cassandra, your organic beauty, positive mind management, and clinical hypnotherapist. And today's roundtable discussion is with Tom Paladino. Now, I'll be honest with you, I love talking about quantum energy and healing and even chi, but I have never heard of scalar energy until I heard of Tom and his incredible technology that he has developed. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tom before we get started on today's podcast, and we're going to have him in for another podcast down the road, but I want you to at least get an introduction. So Tom is a scalar energy researcher with 25 years of experience in healing people with chronic pathogenic illnesses. Tom begins research with scalar energy during his undergraduate years, where he was inspired by various scientists, especially Nikola Tesla, as the existence of energy that was not of the electromagnetic spectrum. Tom has developed a technique using scalar energy that transmutes pathogens quickly and painlessly. And this technique facilitates the use of photographs of people who desire to have pathogens transmuted in their body. Now, through clinical trials with medical labs, Tom watched pathogens dissemble in front of his eyes. And emboldened by these discoveries, it is his belief and statement that scalar energy is capable of transmuting all pathogens, thus presenting the world with the solution for thousands of pathogenic diseases. Now, welcome to the Awaken Beauty podcast, Tom. I'm so glad to have you on this mini intro to what we call scalar energy. So I guess I'm going to welcome you, and maybe it was from your young childhood, but what awakened you to this profound science that you've discovered and shared with so many?
You're right, Cassandra. It is a profound science. It was the researcher and developer Nikola Tesla. Many of you have heard that name, Nikola Tesla, a great inventor. And what he achieved, to this day, nobody has duplicated. So I knew that this man, Tesla, was working with scalar energy, or what people call chi, or perhaps quantum energy. It's different than that electricity. It is not of the electromagnetic dimension. Mm-hmm. So with this other dimension, this scalar light dimension, we can do so many things that you cannot achieve with electromagnetic energy. I decided to make it my focal point in life. I decided that this was a life well spent in researching this dimension.
It's so incredible. And, you know, I've read all of the testimonials, and being in the health and wellness industry and just even a tap with functional medicine, maybe we can talk a little bit about how it works, you know, some of the technology that you've developed, because when I tap into functional medicine, I think about, as a human, we're now correlating back to that first slip of the baby coming through the mother's womb and even preuteral, on how important that pathogenic biodiversity really is from early childhood for mental health in, you know, in all of its factions and forms. You know, maybe you can go back to, you know, the importance of pathogenic health and, you know, where, you know, this is really the right time for what you're doing as far as the clinical trials being able to validate what you're absolutely doing. You can physically and, you know, on these physical, you know, with these trials, that you can prove that what you're doing is true.
Yes, and that's really the salient point. This is not hyperbole. We have hundreds of diagnostic tests from hundreds of clinics around the world that prove that we can eradicate viruses such as the herpes virus that up to this point in time, Western medicine did not have an answer to.
Right.
So to speak to that point, That is what is so promising with this new technology. It's
Mm-hmm.
simple, Cassandra. It's easy, it's painless. We are able to send scalar light into the body and break apart the molecular bonds that hold together a virus or a bacterium.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what we've discovered is the easy, painless cure for viral and bacterial disease. Now, how does that work? Well, as an energy, as a quantum energy, energy is informational. And
Right.
with the informational input of scalar, we're able to instruct a virus to disassemble, to fall apart. So when we work with these instruments, we can instruct the human body. If the human body is harboring the herpes virus, for the herpes virus to disassemble, for it to negate its chemical bonds, its molecular bonds. And we do this all again painlessly by way of this light instrument. There's no drugs, there's no surgery involved. So we think that this is the future of medicine, at least in the aspect of pathogenic disease.
Mm-hmm.
We are emboldened by the results. The world will soon learn of the merit of this technology. And this is just the beginning for this new and emerging technology, scalar energy. I believe it will rival that of the computer field within the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, that's profound. And I hear you, I think to break it down, we have chi energy. It is the life energy force. And, we talk a lot about quantum, we talk about all these different biofields, but basically what you're saying, it is kind of like the precursor to the quantum energy, where it is the essence of light and energy itself that evolves
Yes.
in the realm of the stars and the sun. It is the absolute source that then evolves all these energetic biofields. Is that correct?
That's correct. The stars, our sun of the solar system being one of the stars are the center point. That's where the storehouse of this energy is. So if you look at the universe, where did light begin? Well, it's obvious, it's from the stars, and
Mm-hmm.
therefrom all energy, all light derives.
Mm-hmm.
So really those are the instructions of the universe are found in the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, the process and what you've figured out. Now, I'll just tell you a little bit about some of my personal experience with pathogens. So, I think it can be a very, very large, encompassing conversation. So, I'm going to break it down to how I was affected. Had really, really bad mold disease from a salon that I was in for 6 years, which then creating the ecosystem in my body to hold the heavy metals, because I work in the beauty industry, that had all of this cadmium I was exposed to from my personal, work pursuits. And my body continued to break down. I got very, very, very ill. And so when we talk about cleansing these pathogens, that is part of the harbor, because it is a very dangerous pursuit. Mental illness from heavy metals, all different kind of skin. I live in the skin industry where there's an epidemic of psoriasis and eczema. And it's all from this breakdown of low-grade viruses and pathogens and infections in the body. So this is, to me, almost the root of a lot of health issues and how the body can free up to heal up. So you talk a lot about the cleansing process, the nutrient therapy process, and then the energetics around healing all the chakra. Now, obviously, I'm in health and beauty, and this is the root of health, but the example of how we can help with aging and beautiful hair and skin, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So let me address those issues. Again, there's so many functions that we can perform with a scalar energy, scalar light instrument. Yes, we're able to break down, we're able to destroy pathogens, parasites that impair our health. But with this type of energy, we can also balance our brain waves, or what people call the 7 meridians, our 7 chakras. And we can do that readily with this energy, because I believe the chakras, the meridians, are composed of scalar energy. So it really takes a scalar light instrument to have an immediate impact and an immediate influence on our 7 chakras, which are composed likewise of scalar light.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? Well, in many ways, this is an emotional reboot or an emotional reprogramming of our 7 chakras. And a lot of people feel that emotional input. They feel that elevation in their spirit. And then the third point that you mentioned, scalar will assemble nutrients in the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's known as transmutation. We can take the existing proteins and elements in the body and then simply reform them, as you would a Lego set, reform them, transmute them into nutrients such as antioxidants and amino acids, etc. So this is a great way to achieve proper nutrition throughout your body, throughout your entire soma, and do it all by way of these light instructions. And again, the beauty of it is there's nothing harmful here. We're not using chemicals. There is no invasive technique here.
Yeah, I can't tell you how profound this is. I don't know if you know of Sherry Edwards. Do you know Sherry?
No.
Okay, so she basically has this gift on sound therapy, and so there's all these different dynamics people are bringing in with, the sound, and her voice is basically a hologram of your health.
Yes.
And what you're talking about here, and she kind of talks about bringing the nutrients through sound. And this is, I don't want people to think that they can sit back, relax, just let the frequency hit them, and that they have nothing else to do in their life. This is the jump start. This is the jump start to mitochondria working as they should, as we all clean up the way we think, clean up our nutrition, and that we become very mindful of how, we conduct our lives. But what you're talking about, so if I go back to the pathogen release, when we get rid of these toxins in our body and the danger of it, what you're telling me, and tell me if I'm correct, there is no die-off. There is no response in the body. And that's what I think is the most profound in what you've developed, is because people are scared to go at these things because the way they feel when they detox.
Right, precisely. So when we're working with light energy, there is no detox, first and foremost, because we're not working with chemicals. Many people who subject themselves to some type of antibiotic regimen still have to do with the adverse, the nefarious side effects of the chemical. And then secondly, when we do break apart a pathogen, we not only break apart the pathogen and destroy the pathogen, but we're also breaking apart the waste products and the toxins associated inside a pathogen. For instance, many bacteria carry endotoxins.
Right.
Well, any release of endotoxin is going to produce some type of a reaction, maybe even a cytokine storm. Well, that's obviated by virtue of the fact that Scalar will break down the chemical bonds of the bacterial cell as well as the endotoxins inside a bacterium. So we have this energy which will allow us to cause the cessation of life, as well as the ability to bring any toxin into a different state, a different molecular state, so that pathogen and the toxin cease to exist.
Oh, so really there is no danger to anybody. There is no side effect, and this is accessible for everybody. We've got little time, but I am curious, and I want to use a little bit of a teaser because we're going to jump into these different subsets of different disease groups and how pathogens connect it. But for women, the Awaken Beauty podcast, can you tell me a little bit about how this affects our hormones?
Sure. Many women who try the therapy, they see that, first of all, it's an emotional reboot, that they feel better. And the fact that we can eradicate so many pathogens from their body, many times then their thyroid gland starts to function properly. Or many times we simply have a reboot of their endocrine system. So they'll have a greater hormonal response. Now we have a separate therapy known as female hormone therapy, in which we can actually assemble progesterone, pregnenolone, estrogen inside the body. Now, the upshot of that is many women who have a hormonal deficiency, when they try the female hormone therapy by way of Scalar, they no longer experience hot flashes, night sweats, irritability. Why?
Amazing.
Because we're actually creating inside the body with Scalar, we're actually creating estrogen, pregnenolone, etc. And it's the balance that I think is so important. And I think the Scalar Energy instruments really impart that balance of the necessary hormones that we need. Now, that is also a salient point. It's not only delivering hormones, but it's doing so in a timely fashion. And again, when we work with people, we treat people from head to toe, so to speak. So when people need this hormonal balance, it's not just one part of their body, it's their entire body that's called upon to enjoy these hormones. And in so doing, we work with people 24 hours a day. We deliver those hormones that will erase the deficiency, that will address the deficiency. And then I think what's also important is that the fact that we're doing this without any chemical intervention. We're doing this with light, which is pure, which is clean. Again, there are no adverse side effects. So the
Right.
hormonal system can act then accordingly without the undue influence of some type of chemical, man-made chemical.
You want to talk about anti-aging, and hormonal support is a really big factor, especially with everything we know about estrogen dominant breast cancer and all of these things. Now, for someone like myself who's on progesterone cream and estrogen, if somebody is on a bioidentical, do they then take themselves off of it, or do they just stay status quo on that?
We leave that up to them. That's to
Okay.
their election. But some women have felt so well under the Scalar program that they do wean
They
themselves
remove.
off of bioidenticals. And again, I can't. Only their attending physician could make that
Right.
judgment. So I just stay away from that.
So based on your programs, maybe you could tell us a little bit so that, we can have people hop on, and you do offer a 15-day free trial to start this. Now, if somebody does that trial, I'm assuming, are you going through that cleanse, nutrient therapy, and chakra system, or does that also involve the hormonal, and do you have to pay for that separately?
Sure. Well, on our website, we offer a 15-day trial, and
Right.
the 3 standard sessions are offered. That's the germ cleanse, the pathogen cleanse, the chakra balancing, and what we call the nutrient program, in which we can assemble over 350 nutrients in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would suggest to your listening audience, if you like that first 15-day program, sign up for the newsletter, which
Mm-hmm.
is on the homepage, and we offer free sessions throughout the year of female hormone therapy, what
Oh,
we call
wow.
natural foods, another program called endorphins and neurotransmitters. We can actually assemble endorphins inside the
Oh,
body.
incredible.
Yeah, it is. We have 7 programs altogether. So sign on the news. That way you can see all the programs before you become a paying client.
Yeah, it's very honest and generous of you. So thank you for that, Tom. And that's a great. So for someone to go ahead and get that free trial, where do they go? And maybe you can tell us the website to go to.
Please, the website is scalarlight.com. Look at the red banner at the top. It's rather conspicuous. It says free trial, and click it. Now, as Cassandra mentioned, we work with people remotely by way of a photograph. So you only have to send us a photograph of some part of your body, some part of your skin, and we will treat you for 15 days. And I promise you, you will feel better, and you will see the merit of these treatments. Now, to add to that, you can send in the photographs of your entire family, including your pets. And I would suggest that you do so, because if you're living under the same roof, or even if a relative is removed, nonetheless, you want to try and take care of your family. So we allow you to sign up. You could send as many as 20 photographs in of 20 different relatives, including your pets. Why not avail yourself of that? We're there to prove that this is of merit. And we like the 15-day trial because it shows people the efficacy of these treatments.
Great. And if somebody wants to continue after the 15-day trial, you just sign up for the monthly program?
That's correct. We treat people month by month. That's right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, I cannot thank you enough. So this was kind of my teaser to our Awaken Beauty audience, because I really want to dig into, how the technology works, how you built it. It is in your hands. It is in nobody else's hands, and you keep it under tight control. And we can talk about all these different subsets and how it helps heal. I mean, we talk about Epstein-Barr, we talk about Lyme's. There's all these epidemics that this can really, really, truly help for what's going on with so many today. So
to speak to that point, Epstein-Barr, we have great success in breaking apart and eradicating the Epstein-Barr virus. You can go on our website and you can read various diagnostic tests. They call them the DNA tests, or polymerase chain reaction tests, that proves that we have destroyed the Epstein-Barr virus. And in so doing, many people are returned to health. Many people have mononucleosis, or they have some type of a chronic fatigue syndrome, or they have a problem with their thyroid. They experience a relief. And the reason I mentioned the thyroid is because the Epstein-Barr virus typically attacks our thyroid gland, and it leads in some cases to Hashimoto's. So this is the answer for many medical conditions. We're offering 15 days of free sessions. I would like everybody in the listening audience to avail themselves of those 15 days, that free trial. And then maybe later this month, we'll do another follow-up interview, and we'll take some testimonies from people.
yeah.
I'm all for proving that this works. So that's why we have that free trial. Don't be bashful. You can sign as many as 20 family members to that session. I want to prove it to you that this works.
That's great. Awesome, Tom. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time today. And I will go ahead and make sure that I send everybody to your website in our show notes, and we'll get everybody moving and going. And I look forward to having you on the Awaken Beauty podcast again.
Thank you, Cassandra. Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the Awaken Beauty podcast. Until next time, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. Well, hello, Awaken Beauty. Thank you so much for joining the show today. Were you inspired? Please leave a comment or your own personal aha moment so others can capture exactly what you did. Also, please like and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're interested in high quality natural products for your hair, skin, and wellness, including organic CBD, please visit evoquebeauty.com. Again, that is evoquebeauty.com, evoquebeauty.com. And until next time, darling, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back.